Hi, this is Zach here with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Sunday, the 16th of February. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is right on the line in terms of previous target, 87.30. We've managed to stay above that on an end of day and an end of week close basis. Above that, looking for not only retesting 88.20 plus, which was the high at midweek, but also up to 9,000 at the top of the channel there from back in the beginning of last year, and hoping for that by the end of next month. On the downside, if we do break 87.30, that is, then that uptrend line there from the middle of last month, 8,600, looks as though the place this market would find support. Moving along to the DAX and trying to consolidate near the best levels ever. Certainly a contrast in terms of the DAX to the fundamental gloom and doom that you read in the papers, but there we are. Top of the November trend channel there, 23,500, and we're looking for that by the end of next month, especially while we remain above the floor of the post-November channel there, 21,900. Moving on to the Dow, and here got a situation where I suppose this hasn't made new highs for, well, basically since the beginning of last month, although obviously there was a big celebration in the wake of the Trump victory. Current position is that while we're above the 50-day line there, 43,700, we're looking for a break of 45,000 record highs to take us up to fresh record highs, 46,700 by the end of next month. RSI in the mid-50s, just in the right place for a consolidation ahead of a move to the upside. Bitcoin is next, and here the story's been a rather sort of suspect consolidation, a very narrow range between the 50-day line and the uptrend line there from November. November line there, 94,500, and the 50-day line there, 98,700. End of day close outside that would resolve the log jam, but we do have the RSI below 50, so on that basis we would fail at the 50-day line and then break the November support line and head back down to the main support area towards 90,000. Moving on to gold, where the news has been of hoarding and smuggling, etc., etc., but here we've got the market resting on 2,900. That was the resistance area on the way up, and while we're above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking for 3,000 by the end of next month. Worst case at the moment, probably seen as being towards 28.70 and the early February support. Obviously, there is the next level down would be around 2,800, the previous October peak. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Ananda from the Aquas market, and here the shares up 50% last year, and I suppose we're looking for them to 52%. We're looking for them to beat that this year. You can see that we've got this rising trend channel base there. Initial chart target there, 0.62. Best case scenario maybe for the latter part of this year rather, up to 0.8, and that's valid while we hold above the 50-day moving average at 0.45. See that we've been consolidating above a rising 50-day line since mid-November, so it's a strong-looking setup. Just as strong a setup is Agronomics, where we have managed to break out of the recent range, the neckline resistance there from early December, 4.6 pence, or call it 4.7 pence, finished off the week with two very strong candles opening at the low, closing on the high Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, in fact. And so looking for this stock to break higher within that rising trend channel base from July. Initial target here, 6.5 pence, and I suppose after that we're looking for as high as that late March resistance line projection at 10 pence, perhaps by the end of next month. But let's see if this very good-looking setup with the bull flag above a rising 50-day line will do the trick for this stock. Onto a stock which I've covered quite a lot of late with the gaps to the upside, etc. Rising trend channel base here for Argentex. Initial target here 52 pence rather, and I think we can justifiably look for another level higher, as high as maybe 70 pence by the end of next month, if we can get to the first target relatively quickly. Ideally, we stay on the right side of 40 pence, whatever happens. Moving on to another potentially decent setup, Blue Star Capital. Here we've had the vertical break of the 50 and 200-day lines, and then we've stayed above the 50 and 200-day lines, even on the pullback from 14 pence. That suggests that hopefully we'll stay above that 50-day line at 6 pence, and while we do that, looking for the second target there as high as 17 pence by the end of next month. Moving on to Sell AI, and here we've got a situation where stock is looking with it like as if it's trading within a rising trend channel there from October. We previously hit a few targets on this, but fresh update here, and the shares above the floor of that channel there, around 0.22, above that, looking for a retest of 0.5 pence by the end of next month. Worst case is we're going to test the 50-day line there, 0.16, but we're not really looking for that to be required. Onto a Ukraine play, and here we covered Cadogan, but it seems to be rising so fast it's actually difficult to pin it down. Here you can see that the second target there around 4.4 pence was broken, and above that looking for a fresh resistance line projection as high as 6.6 pence over the next few days. Ideally we stay above 4.5 pence, and I suppose there's much more upside to come here if everything goes well on the Trump-Putin front. Moving on to Emmerson, which has been suggesting it's in good form, especially since the unfilled gap to the upside that we had back at the beginning of last month. We've hit our first target there, 1.6 pence. Second target, 2.4, hopefully well before the end of next month, and filling that gap down there from the beginning of October. Another stock which has blown the lights out is Gfinity, and here you can see it's hit the third target already around 0.12, above 0.12. We're looking for as much as 0.2, which is a rather long-dated resistance line projection there from back in September. Looking for that by the end of next month while we remain above 0.1 pence. The bears seem to have let Georgina off the hook, at least for the in the meantime. We've got this uptrend line in the RSI window, which has been helping the cause. Recent support around 5.25 pence above that, but looking for not only a break of the 50-day line at 6.8 pence, but to head up to as high as 10 pence by the end of next month. You can see the RSI bouncing along the neutral 50 level, which hopefully will help the cause. On to Incanthera, which was called higher even before it started going up, which was it was quite a trick just due to that wonderful pattern there on the daily chart. So step progression, so up and then sideways, up and then sideways. We're looking for, and have been looking for, the 20 pence level, looking for that by the end of next month or much sooner. The stock rising on no news and rising above a rising 50-day line. That it looks very strong indeed. And as I said previously, we've only had one red candle there on the daily chart since the shares fell over back in November. Onto a stock which I didn't really want to look at, but couldn't resist given the push back above the 50-day line on Kefi. 50-day line there at 0.48, above that, looking for the shares to fill the gap down from December, size 0.62, perhaps over the next 4 to 6 weeks or even sooner, but not a very fast-moving situation, so difficult to get a timing on that. Stake building has been the good help here on Light Science Technologies that we had at the end of the week. We got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising now, so that means we're looking for the top of that rising trend channel there from back in August last year, heading for around the 4.5 pence level, and looking for that by the end of next month or even sooner. Ideally, we stay above 2 3/4 on the 200-day moving average. Another stock which one doesn't sort of normally look at, largely because it hasn't been a great performer of late, but there are some signs that Reabold is doing better at the moment, or could do. Opened at the low, close at the high on Friday. We've got a rising 50-day line there as well. So looking for 0.075 by the end of next month, while we stay above that rising 50-day moving average. Finishing off with Rome Resources, which has got a better look to it at the moment after the bear trap rebound from below September support there around 0.235. Expecting the shares to break that line of resistance there from November around 0.32, and at least head back into the middle or upper 30s by the end of next month. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.